Hi everyone, thank you for joining us again. We're your hosts. I'm Brittany.
I'm Ari.
I'm Jasmine.
And this is
Tila. So what do we have going on? What's the tea today, Jasmine?
Well, the tea today is a little pink mimosa here. I did a little pink lemonade with a little pink rosé, sparkling champagne or wine.
It look good.
I think wine. Girl, I can't wait to see you get into it. I think it's good. I think I did good today. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, take a taste. Take a swig. Take a swig. Go ahead. I'll take a swig with you.
Yeah.
You like it?
It's real nice.
You like it?
And everything.
Oh, she like it too. See?
Yes, girl. Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Okay, all right.
Let's just get into it. Okay.
I know everybody, again, is probably wondering why we're dressed the way that we're dressed, obviously.
It fits the theme. Mm-hmm. If you read the title, you would know. Did you put two together? I hope you did. All right. Okay. All right. Hello.
Okay. Friendship is a relationship between friends. We all have them. Mm-hmm. We all have had them if we cut off people. And they're basically special people that aren't really related to us by blood, but become as close to us as family members are.
Yeah, absolutely.
But due to society, there's always some mix-up, some little mishap here or there with friendship. So that's what we're about to get into in this episode. All the ins and outs of everything today with friendship. And we're going to sip this tea and get on topic.
Do you really remember, do y'all remember your first friends? Grade, the friend
No,
name?
you know what? Yes. I remember my first friend.
Okay.
I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. Born. So when I came up here, I went to Catholic school kindergarten. Public school was actually the first one before Catholic school. So public school I went to when I first came up here, and I had an accent, of course, fresh accent. And I walked into school in kindergarten. I was like, I don't need my mother. I don't need anything at all whatsoever. Then I get in and I realize my mom's not staying, so I don't know nobody here. I have an accent or whatever the case is. So I walked in, and at the time they were the desks were according to last name, first name. Yeah. So I walked in, and there was this one girl next to me. She was from Puerto Rico, so she didn't actually spoke straight Spanish, believe it or not. So she didn't. I think her name was Lourdes. So yes, her name was Lourdes.
You remember?
And exactly, her name was Lourdes. And we basically, because of where we were sitting, we had no choice but to talk to each other. And she was like, oh, you speak funny. And I was like, so do you. And that's literally how we became friends. Up until the entirety of kindergarten, we were friends. There's pictures with me and her at kindergarten graduation. So I would say definitely in terms of definition of a friend, she was my very, very, very first friend. What about you?
Yeah, what about you?
Outside of cousins.
Right? Because always.
Well, my first friend's name was Courtney when I was 7.
Yeah, I remember names. I can read that.
Yeah, but I remember her name because we stayed friends through our teen years and our 20s, and we still keep in contact now. Our moms are the reason we met because they were friends. They worked together and they were best friends. They consider each other sisters. And yeah, my mom invited her to my little birthday gathering. I did not want her there because I didn't know her.
You a spicy friend.
I didn't know her, and I just was like, who is this person? I wanted so and such to come, and I was just upset the whole time. So it was just me against her. And I don't know if she remembers that, but it was me against her. Girl. But by the end of the day, it was me and her against the other two friends. For me. Look, by the end of it, it was me and her against the other two friends. And
sometimes that's the healthiest thing.
It was competition. Look, and it was great. And after that, I was like, when is she coming back? Because I like her.
So she could take your little
I don't know.
battle.
I was 7. How much battle can 7
For real.
How about you?
Well, ain't that bad. I believe my first friend was in kindergarten. I believe, if I remember. Oh yes, I remember. Her name was Samantha.
Oh.
We went to daycare together. She was mad cool. She was so nice and so sweet. But as we gotten older, I guess the same thing. Like all of us, as we gotten older, I like lost contact with her, and I think we went. I used to live in to get a little bit into me. I used to live in Crown Heights, and we went to the same. I moved, and we went to the same public school together. Okay. And then once I moved from the public school, then our friendship went left. But she was like my bestie. Like my bestie. But yeah, I remember my friends. Do you remember names?
I think now that we're in our 30s, do you feel that having friends is an important part of growing up?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Especially now, because being in our 30s, I feel like it's we're at a different path in our lives. Whereas you should be in a different path. Things are more serious now. We're trying to step our cookies up.
Exactly.
So since we're trying to step our cookies up, we need to make sure that the friends that we are in, our friendship with, they are stepping up their cookies as well. That's how I feel. I don't know how y'all.
I mean, you want to know that they are in some way on the same level as you, but at least you want to know that it's someone that's worth having in your corner, and that's really in your corner.
So loyalty is very important.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who, they have things going on in their life, but they're not a good friend worth nothing. So
I think with me, I think there's a great importance of having friends. Like when I was growing up, I didn't have any friends at all whatsoever. Yeah. But it had nothing to do with the fact that I didn't want any. I was just really isolated. I liked reading my book. I didn't go outside. I didn't do anything like that. So that to me was good. Like my friends to me were family members, like you said earlier, cousins. So I had a house full of cousins. I had my sister, my mom, and my dad. So in my mind, I was like, I didn't really need anybody. I wasn't missing anything. I didn't like sleeping over at anyone's house. I'm Caribbean old school. We don't do that.
Look, it's very hard to get a slum party when you
sleeping at who house? Not mine.
They can come over here. They can
take
come
their
over
shoes
here,
off.
and I know who's in my house.
Yeah, so I never saw the need to do any of that, because that's how you grew up in a Caribbean household. Yeah. So when I didn't really get my first real friend until I met my OG friend Christian in high school, and she is, I would say, my first real friendship. Authentic friendship. And we literally made friends because we were both minding our businesses. That's how we ended up becoming friends. And from her, she was literally my only friend. I was like, all right, cool, I got one, that's all I need.
One and done.
And then college came, and then you came along, and then you fairly recently. So I feel like friends are very important when you reach new levels of life. And I feel like that's what the 30s are. Like when you welcome in your 30s, it's a new level of life. So you need friends that match your hustle.
And people will fall off as they must if they're not meant to be.
Yes, and you know what's the craziest part? Oh, sorry, cut you off. No, that's fine. The craziest part about that is what you said, that they will fall off. It's like a tree. I swear to God, like the dead leaves will fall off, and you don't miss them. The tree don't miss the dead leaves, and they fall off without you even have to do anything. And it's like, when I was younger and my friendships were like, oh my God, why did my friend leave? And now that I'm older, like if you disappear, you disappear. No hard feelings. None at all. It's just that we just on different paths in our lives. So,
and that's the next thing. People need to be okay with letting people go.
Yes, absolutely.
It in no way makes you a bad friend if you let people go.
I think there is this misconception that if you can't stay friends with somebody, then it's like, well, what's wrong with me? Am I a bad friend? Or, and even making that person feel that way. And sometimes it's not that you're a bad friend or I'm a bad friend. It's just we're not clicking the same way anymore. So, we obviously have different paths we need to go on.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Like the thing with me, so like with my friends, relationships, it was with a lot of like males. I had like a lot of male friends. Like you guys had, like you say, your first friends was your cousins and family. I grew up with predominantly male figures in my family. So I always knew how to hang out with the fellas. And I've always been closer with the fellas. And it's always that, that little fake, what you want to call it? That little fake thing that they be saying, where it's like, women can't be friends with women.
And men and women can't be friends.
That little bull. I really think that's bull. Like
it is crap.
I totally agree with that.
It's absolutely crap.
I feel like if two people are confident with themselves and they know where they're at, it's very much like a sex of a person shouldn't matter when coming to friends. And why limit yourself only to your sex when each sex of a person determines, like, you know, they have a different input on life. So like you have your female friends, I'll tell you, oh, leave that and stuff like that. And you have your male friends like, sis, is it really him or is it you? Like, so, you know, like, it's good to have both sexes as friends, and there's nothing wrong with it, and it's very much possible to do.
One of my closest friends now is a guy.
And
I gotta give it to him, because there have been plenty of moments when I was wrong.
I believe it.
Shut up. And I needed for him as like the guy friend to be like, I'm here in this situation. I understand why you feel like this. Let me just give you this input, think about it, and then come back to me, because I think if I tell you, you're gonna understand. Like, you kind of were wrong. Like, I understand why you felt like that, but you were wrong, and it's good to hear it.
Speaking on that, all right, there's two questions. I'm gonna throw this one at you. When it comes to, do we as female friends take more into account of male friend advice than we do our female friends' advice?
I don't think so. For myself, no. Because like, you guys give me advice all the time that I take into consideration. I think with that, because it's a guy telling me something about a guy, it kind of made that extra bit of advice like,
it just added
a little extra to it.
Because I wonder.
Not with me personally, I don't take anybody's advice.
We know.
So like, I'll take in, you know, to consideration what everybody's saying, but I have like my own mind. So whenever I make a decision, it's from my mind. I'm just asking for input to see like, yo, maybe I'm going crazy.
I feel like that's the way advice is, giving our input. Doesn't mean you have to take it.
Exactly. Absolutely. Because sometimes I be saying stuff and I be like, no.
Yeah, and there's always a misconception like, oh, your female friends is doing this and that, and this and everything. And I'm like, bruh.
But the problem with that too is, in some friendships, unfortunately, that's what happens. People will have their friendships where someone will say something to them and they automatically, well, they're right.
That's true.
And then there's some people who listen to their friends, and that's, I mean, to each his own. But to compare the whole collateral is just really dumb to me. Point blank. But I mean, there is also the fact that, like, you know, that going back to what we said, there are some people that end up dating their male friends.
Yes, like that. Well, I didn't want to say. See, that's not the time to put it, because it was like that male thing that happened recently, or a while back, a months back, about the girl and the guy going on a friend date.
On a friend date,
yeah,
which was cute, but that's different. That's
but people looked at that
as friends. One of my best friends I met when I was 14 was a guy. Like, once we got to the stage where it was like, okay, it's okay that you guys like hang out by yourself, because you know West Virginia.
Oh my God, my mom would stay with my cousin.
Girl,
but
never.
We would hang out. He would take me out to eat. The year my great grand passed, I'd never gotten to go to Philly, and he was like, okay, well, let's get out of town. He took me on a trip to Philly. Like, we had a great time. And that was my best friend. He'd been my best friend since I was 14. So that was someone who'd seen me when I was the crappiest, most annoying teenager. So when I became an adult and the woman that I am now, so it's just like, it's okay for you to hang out with your friends like that. I don't understand why that's suddenly, that means you're doing something else. Like,
I think it's the most part of this whole notion of like, males talk about like, that's my sis. But in reality, it ain't his sis. Yeah. He trying to get into that sis. Or the girl be doing the different, no, that's my bro. Yeah, we bros. That's my bro. It's and she trying to get into the bro. Or the bro into her. No.
I personally am one of those people.
I mean, but that's a different situation.
I am personally one of those people, because I was in a relationship with someone else, not my current partner, but my current partner is my best friend. So like, he was always the guy that like, anything happened, I run to him like, look, guess what so and so did today, because he gave reasonable advice. Yeah. So like, but low key it was like, damn.
So she was
I was like, there was always feelings there from the get go. So like, my partner at the time, he was like, oh, I don't want you talking to him and everything. I'm like, well, That's the bro, but I mean,
If he
I
open
can't.
up that door,
but you weren't doing it.
I wasn't doing it exactly. I wasn't
That's
doing
the
anything
thing.
at all whatsoever. Like
Yeah.
the feelings were there, but I
you
never
weren't
ever
crossing
went on
that
it. I was
line,
in my
yeah.
relationship to be in my relationship.
And you also kept that friendship as it was
Exactly,
supposed
and I
to
kept
be.
friendship because that's who I could go to and have a clear conversation with and everything like that. So it, you know, I can understand the aspect of where some people was like, yo, that's not really a sis, that's not really a bro.
Yeah.
Being in that situation myself.
Yeah.
But like I have a bro that's my bro. Like he's my best friend. He comes to me for advice. Will he take it? I don't know. He hard headed too. Love you. You know who you are. But that's legit my bro, and he never, to me, unless I'm oblivious, never made a move to me that made me feel like
You feel out of place.
yeah, like nah, like I can't. I know, because you know, we as women have female intuition. We have that intuition. And males, maybe something because your little ex-boyfriend at the time had a little feeling. So maybe males have that intuition
It's
too.
called jealousy. That's what that feeling was.
See, what we're not gonna do is put a label on it. He had a little feeling, okay?
You know who you are. You know what you felt.
He was right though. Anyway,
I don't care.
but like males have that intuition. As we as females have that intuition. Like you can tell when a guy is like trying to talk to you and just using the friend card because they can't get to that next level because you put him in the friend zone.
Yeah.
He can't get to that next level. So,
But you can also tell when someone's might have feelings for you, but they're genuinely your friend.
yeah, like they'll
leave it be and they'll respect what it is and what you feel.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, it literally depends on the person. So when you were speaking about the thing that popped up on Instagram with the male and the female date, you know, they're both dressed up.
Yeah.
And they're going out to a nice
Yeah.
thing. We go on friend dates, so like to us, we looked at that and we were like, what's wrong? But you went in those comments and they swore up and down like, let us know when you guys get in a relationship.
Yep. They go in those comments for no reason. I'm looking, I was like, this is mad cute. Sent it to y'all. I was like, they're so cute. I was like,
and I have a old friend, and I say old friend because we just started speaking to one another again. And he goes out on like friendship dates. Like I'm dead, but I'm dead. Look at her. No, and he told me that because we talked about it. I sent it to him and I was like, yo, what do you think about that? And he was like, this double standard makes no sense. He's like, because that's what I do. He's like, I hang out with my girlfriends all the time. Most of his friends are female, so they go out to dinner. They all get together. It'll be him and all of the girls. You know, go out for drinks and stuff like that. Like. One of them had,
and I'm pretty sure if some dude sees that, they'd be like, bro, which one of them you smashing?
Yeah.
Like,
always.
And he was the only when she had her housewarming, and besides her guy being there, he was the only other guy that was at the housewarming. He sent me a picture. They were having a housewarming paint night with drinks. I was like, y'all having wine paint nights? Go ahead.
Oh, that's cute.
And I think so people like us, because we go on friend dates all the time, we treat the crap out of each other. Like, especially this one here. We get gifts every single holiday. It don't even matter at all what it is. It could be Friday and then she went to Walmart and she picked up some stuff. We're gonna get a bag packed from Walmart. Exactly. I got you guys some things. just some stuff that I think you guys are gonna like.
A bag full of shit that
exactly. And but you know what's funny is like when you open the bag, it's exactly what you need.
It's like I'm like, oh yes.
But like it could like because we do that. We don't see anything wrong in that, but like people, like if there's a guy that chills with a bunch of girls, it's like, bro, which one you smashing? If there's a girl that chills with a bunch of guys, it's like, they running a train. Like it's the double standard is ridiculous.
I grew up with a lot of male figures, and I had a lot of male friends, so I would hang out with a lot of like males. I was that girl that would hang out with my friends' boyfriends at the time, and I would hang out with them and think nothing of it, and they would be like, yo, she the sis, sis. Even when they broke up, and that was a problem.
But that was because you were cool people.
And I'm still cool people.
Look, but people know. But people know, like, when someone genuinely is your friend, they're not gonna cross a line. They already have it in their mind, like, this is who you are to me, and that's it.
But that also brings about like friendships are always gonna tie into a relationship, even if you both weren't friends before. Like in terms of what you said, like there are gonna be guys that have female friends. There's gonna be girls that have male friends. So do you feel like there needs to be boundaries that need to be set?
You mean in a relationship? So if I'm in a relationship with my man
and he has a female friend, dope, hangs out with her, goes on friend dates and everything.
Hold on. Remember that little female intuition I talked about earlier? If I feel, I'm just saying, me personally, if I feel like sure, because some females, they be trying. They have a thing where they really be trying to, because some girls like that a male is in a relationship. To them, that's their aphrodisiac.
He's capable. He's
like,
stable.
He's stable.
He's appealing.
He's married. He has a child. Oh my God, I would have the same
He's
thing.
fixed.
like a dog.
He's fixed. He's fixed. Everything about him's fixed. Let me tell you something. He might be fixed now, but if anything happens, I'm gonna reset it.
Yes, take it away.
You gonna have to deal with what I dealt with from the start.
Gotta erase it all. Erase it. Take out the memory card. You start from scratch. But anywho, back to what I was saying. That little female intuition. I'm not a jealous person.
Yeah.
The reason, because I'm confident in myself, and it took me a long time to get to this point. So I'm confident in myself. I'm confident in who I am. I'm confident in who I am, and I know what I bring to the table. So my thing is like, if I see a female, he has a female friend, especially if I knew that he had this female friend before.
Yeah.
I have no problem. Like, oh, that's just this. All right, I know. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, to me, it's like when you get these new people.
Yeah.
Like, who's she? Like, where did she come from? Unless you change your career and path for life, and then
But
you get some,
also, again, like you said, it's intuition. You can also
exactly. I go back to that little.
And I know guys think that is like a load of bull.
They really do. It's real.
It's really true.
It's
really true.
It really gets aggravating, because then it's like you come to them when you're with somebody. You should be able to go like, okay, we're in a relationship, so we have a relationship and a friendship at this point. So I'm coming to you to say to you, hey, I kind of feel like this. Let's talk about it. If you gaslight me and tell me, oh, you're being jealous, bro, I'm not jealous of nobody. Have you seen me?
Do you know me?
What?
Do you know me?
I just want to have a conversation with you, because at the end of the day, if anybody messes up here, you're going to get in trouble. So
the way she said, because I know her trouble. Yes. Don't mess with her.
Savagery. That Aquarius savagery.
It's kindergarten.
I'm just clean. I am my mother's child. No.
I feel like in my relationship, and speaking from my point of view, we've never physically had a conversation about female friends, because I'm not really bothered by that. The way that I see it, I'm confident in myself. I'm not threatened by nobody at all whatsoever, and I know what I bring to the table. So like, my only thing is respect me.
Yes.
And you get respected.
Yeah, vice versa.
Simple as that. So if I feel like, for instance, you get a random female friend, all right, cool, you're making friends, and she come and there's no form of respect, and I tell you, I tell you, like, I'm feeling a sort of way, and you don't do anything, that intuition is gonna kick in, and I'm be like, all right, cool, then that means that there's something else going on, and then I'm gonna be on your case. So I feel like you can have spoken boundaries and unspoken boundaries, but I feel like in terms of relationship, it's something that doesn't need to necessarily be said.
Absolutely.
Into when coming to friends and how friends deal. Like that also deals with, like, like when you have somebody that drives and you're in the front seat, like your dude drives and you're in the front seat, and let's say he picked up his friend, and that's a female or a male, and they just move to the back seat automatically, because that's you that seat belongs to you. It's just unspoken rules that tie in when it comes to friendship and relationships.
And the same thing with this unspoken rules when it comes to friendship in general. Like, there's certain things that you just know, like the girl code, the guy code. Like, there's certain things that we just know as women that we won't cross.
Be careful with those too, because some people try to overdo those things. When they extend it to certain stuff, like it's weird to like
depends on the
navigate.
person too.
It depends on your relationship with each other, because you can tell, like, because I agree with you. There's some females or males that would like overextend, like, then it's like no. Now you nitpicking. Now you just have a jealous streak. Personally, you'll just have, it depends on what it is. You got a little jealous streak.
Sometimes it's an insecurity thing, because I had a friend that I like worked with, and there was someone she liked where we worked at, and me and him were just really cool with each other, like cool, like that was bro. I was bro, like that was our interaction.
It is sometimes.
And she made a comment one day where she was like, "Why did you have to talk to him?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Like we're just cool with each other. We hang out." When I realized later in life, as I kept thinking about certain things, as I'm getting older and I'm like reevaluating friendships, I realized I was like, "Oh, she felt a way about me and him being cool with each other because of how she felt about herself." And I'm like, that's when you come to your friend and you say, "Hey, I like him. and I kind of felt like maybe you did, and that's why. Where I would have been like, no.
And that, you see, like that right there. She's talking about a coworker. To me,
but that was someone who was my friend.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I was like, yeah, because
we just happened to work
because I was about to
together.
say, like, you need to define,
like, we were friends.
Who's your friend?
before,
Who's your acquaintance? Who's your coworkers? Like somebody that you know from work, and that's your, oh my goodness, that's my favorite person. That's not your friend.
No, I was about to say because there's levels.
That's your friend. That's not your coworker 9 to 5. That's not your friend.
Because
so girl code applies to people that are genuinely labeled your friend.
Yes,
and it shouldn't be extended if it doesn't need to be extended. I feel like when you hit like certain parameters, like if like how some females be like, oh, that's my crush, I claim him. He don't want you. He don't want you.
Yes, Lord.
He don't even know you exist, but he knows I exist. And let's say he comes to me, and we vibe together and we come together. Let's say we start a relationship, all of a sudden I don't violate girl code. No, that shit don't apply.
That used to happen to me. Oh God, that happened to me. Oh Lord, that happened to me. And I was just, and to this day, that boy is my bro. And I'm like, she was upset because of the fact that she liked him. I had no feelings for this boy. She liked him, and like he was talking to me, but I was just like, okay, whatever, you the bro. And she was mad because I was like, because he liked me. I'm like, I can't help that I look like this and not act that way, honey. Like, no,
but I think it all comes down to confidence, and I feel like friendship, relationships, overall, everything ties down to the character of a person, the way that you carry yourself, and your morals at the end of the day. If your morals and your character is set in a certain way, it don't matter what anybody says about what you got going on. Do you, and that's that. End of the story.
I agree. I really feel like as you get older, friendships should be defined. It should be defined. What is your friendship? What is your definition of friendship? Does your morals match the next person's morals? Is that person someone that you really want to hang out with?
Exactly, yeah.
Because again, going back to us being in your 30s and having friendships, I dealt with so much when it came to friendships in high school. Like, it took me a very long time, and then sometimes like these girls don't understand how much they mean to me because it took me forever to get to this point.
She loves us.
A little bit.
She loves me.
It's not to love.
To this point of finding real friends. Like my friends from college are going to be if I ever get married, if I ever bless this earth with a child, they're going to be the godmothers of my children. Like, they're not going to just be, my children are going to know them as auntie. My other friends that I have that are not like close, like here right now, like the ones that lives in Atlanta, and the ones that know that's my real friends.
Oh, the real ones.
Yes, my real. They know. Okay. My ones that lives in Atlanta.
She got
the ones.
friends.
She had friends.
The ones that live in like DC and like all those places, and y'all know who y'all are. So shout out to y'all. Those friends are that circle of friends that I have are really, really gonna be my family. My best friend that lives here that I dance with and everything. That's whatever he wants. My child, like that's it. Mm-hmm. And at this point, they're just gonna be family. So you need to make sure that they at the same level as you.
That's why we get along the way that we do, because we have the same mindset on that. Like, friends are family, or at least for us, our friendships are family. Like, that's what I saw growing up. My mom and my godmother were the best of friends. Mm-hmm. They met over 40 years of friendship, and they met when they were single digits. Okay, my mother will still to this day. Okay, playing double dutch on the block. Like, my mom will still tell you to this day, like, your godmother next door annoying. Why? Why is she even? I don't even talk to her, and she'll tell her to this day. Yes, I'm her mother's child. And she'll tell her to this day, because they love each other just like that's her sister. The one at the corner, that's her sister. My godmother around the corner, I don't know how she made it to the block, but I don't even know.
That would be like you moved away. She's like, hey guys,
hey,
I got things.
With a unicorn horn attached.
Okay, and the four of them, thick as thieves, always together.
Oh, there's 4 of them?
There was 4. Yeah, that's my mom.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I love the numbers.
And they used to run, please.
My mother don't got no friends. She is a ruthless human being.
Like her child.
Not necessarily, exactly, but not necessarily like that she can't make friends. My mother has such a dominating personality that like you can't come at her with no bullshit. You gotta come correct. And a lot of females her age can't keep up with that type of personality. My mother's about her work grind and everything, so that's what I grew up on. But as I said, when I met my original friend in high school, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of nice and everything. But she was someone that was so, is someone that's so meant to be in my life that like you can't really determine exactly. You can't really say. I don't think I've ever considered her just a friend. Like she became like a sister to me so fast that like she set a standard for what I needed. And I'm like, I need some people around me that are gonna be like family. I need people like if we go out, I'm gonna get home safely. I need people that if I act up, you gonna act up with me. If I wanna break dude's car, you guys bringing the instruments, and then you already got the driveway car. Like I already know. If my boyfriend called and he'd be like, "Oh, is she with you?" You got a tape recorder. Y'all seen that show on Instagram? Y'all seen that show on Instagram? He's like, "This is why I don't trust your friends." It's just like a certain exactly. He does. That's the bro. He got no choice. He don't got no choice.
Yeah.
He really don't.
He really don't.
Where we going? Nowhere.
But yeah, it's having friends is associated with having a safe space.
Yes.
You need to be safe around your friends. You need to be able to trust your friends. Your friends need to be family. Your friends need to match your hustle, not hold you back. Your friends don't need to be miserable when you up here and they're down here.
And they could be miserable, but they're not trying to put that mood on you.
Exactly.
They're trying to bring you down.
Exactly. Everybody's gonna win. Everybody's gonna have their time. Like that. Everybody. If I'm going out and I'm like, yo, let's go and get some tequila shots. And Jazz or Ari say, I don't got no money. That's cool. I didn't ask you that. Come on, let's go. Like that's what friendship is, and that's what it needs to be. And I feel like as you get older, like you said, we're in our 30s. We're not like that. We're not saying we're ancient.
We're not.
No, because we're not.
I'm not saying we're ancient, but I feel like being in your 30s starts a parameter for where you're no longer on the foundation. You're now on the first floor.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from? So like most people in their 30s, they're having their kids, they're getting married and everything like that. So like your life personally needs to be matched with who you have around you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys ever had your mom say, you are who your friends are.
Yep, my mom told me that all the time.
And I used to be like, bullshit. Yeah, I never ever said, like my mother would always say that. I'd be like, I'm not like any of these people that I have around me, and now that I'm older, I understand what she was saying.
Yeah.
So the people around me at that time weren't real friends.
Yeah.
But I never acted the way they are because my mother would whoop my ass.
Yeah.
Her hands work. They are unbiased. So now I understand where she was coming from in terms of talking about you are who you hang out with.
Yeah.
Because people you have around you do play a part in where you end up.
A lot of times too, and I not just with like female friends, but male friends as well, and females, you need to make sure that the company that you have around you is a reflection. This is what the company you have around you is a reflection of who you are. Yeah. It's a reflection of who you are inside, and it's which projects outside. So say for instance you are this quiet type person inside, your friends might project that, but on the outside you might not be like that. But your friends might project this, and you're like, why are you hanging out with these people?
They compliment you.
Yes. And like, or you're nerdy and you're, and stuff like that. And then you got friends that you attract that's nerdy. You're like, what? I got all these nerdy friends and stuff like that. You realize as you get older that like, oh crap, that's like who is, because at a certain point in your life, you're still learning who you are. Just to like wrap it up, friendships needs to be, as we said, it can be both male and female.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It can be family members that turn to friends, or friends that turn to family members. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Friends that turn to family members. It's very important to have friendships in the 30s and make sure that you have a stable, I guess that's the word, stable friendship in your 30s. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This was a good tea talk, guys.
This is really good. It's really good.
To have it with my friends. Oh. You get it? I'm a goofy one.
All right.
Corny joke.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Tea Love.
We look forward to seeing you next time on our next episode.
And until then, stay safe. We wish you peace, love, and a great cup of tea.
You did that.